they're all filled with a longing for the wild. There are a few culturally sanctioned antidotes for this yearning. We were taught to feel shame for such a desire. We grew our hair long and used it to hide our feelings, but the shadow of wild woman still lurks behind us during our days and in our nights. No matter where we are, the shadow that trots behind us is definitely four-footed. Clarissa Pincola Estes, PhD. In life, there is loss, and there is grief. Today so happens to be my birthday, and in the greatest depths of my grief, I did not know what to do, because just a year prior, 3 weeks before my birthday, on January 31st, 2024, my spouse, my best friend, my husband died. And he left this business, BAREMTN Supply, with me. And it was our intent to connect humanity with nature. And on this drive and in my life, I feel like everything is falling apart and I'm losing everything, including this business that I created with my husband. And not knowing which way to go. And so I found myself in winter, in the dark, in the feminine. And it's answering the call of the hero's journey. On the day that my husband died, I talked to him about women who run with the wolves and how it is so in alignment for what this business was to become. He would be so incredibly thrilled that a woman would be the one to take over his precious business and everything that it meant to him, restoring the earth before us and inviting all of our divine feminine essences to raise amongst this earth so that we naturally go through our life cycles. And so I am Rachael Anderson, the founder of BAREMTN Supply, and I let her rest as the leaves that hide under the snow serve its purpose in restoring the ground underneath us. And even as I process this death cycle and the greatest loss of my life, I still have the greatest hopes that things are just beginning and that it isn't over, that energy truly never dies, but is recycled. And that's an adventure that I get to go on. And I'm inviting people to go along with me on some of the shirt designs that you see on our website. We have the Eyes of Reality. And this is a podcast that me and my husband were going to do, but now it's left up to me. And it's something that I'm very excited to do as we go through the natural elements of the psyche and its connection to Mother Nature and everything around us. Everything within the universe is all connected from the micro world to the macro, from what we see outside of us. And I am excited, despite all of the loss and the grief that I am currently going through, that I have life to look forward to. And I'm grateful for that. Even if this business truly doesn't go anywhere, I can still say that I gave it my all and that I stood for something great. And now I would just like to invite anybody who's going through their own life cycles to enjoy the drive. And this is my green Toyota 4Runner. I named her Lazarus, as she raises the dead, whatever that is, since death is just a concept and energy is all around us. And our podcast is all about these greater subjects of energy and the illusion of death and dream analysis and so many great things that I have to bring to people. You can see in my shirt designs that I have Tesla and Einstein, and I called my husband Tesla. He was a man who was into renewable energy, and he had an oil replacement business. And part of this podcast is just me being authentically real and true, and even saying that his death was suspicious. And I felt like he was murdered for coming up with an oil replacement. And in me being Einstein, I am doing an experiment on humanity and hoping to get us to cross the Einstein Rosen Bridge, which is black hole theory, and hoping that my love is not over with my husband. And I don't know how it all looks, but I stay open-minded. And my podcast is my time machine incubator to bring people along in the hopes that all of our greatest dreams can still come true. And the starting point of the podcast is initiating many women, but also men with their animas, to come forward and raise their divine feminine essence and to integrate all of us into the deeper knowings and psyche that is connected to the wild nature around us. And we'll also be going over the hero's journey, because I have been through quite the hero's journey myself, and I'm still in that initiation phase. My husband reached the peak of his journey, Mr. Anderson, and he exited the Matrix. And so you can see as well that we have some shirt designs with entering the Matrix and exiting the Matrix. And Miss Anderson is entering the Matrix and trying to help us all come to a greater understanding of our purposes here and what we all can contribute to the world around us, and that things aren't purposeless. I've come back and forth in the journey of whether anything had any purpose, especially with losing somebody as great as my spouse. The oil company that he was starting was called Green Oil. That's just GRN Oil. And we were calling it Humanity's Oil Company. He had already started this business years prior when it was called Smart Choice Renewables. And he did have all of the connections and money to be able to bring this business forward. And it was through the vehicle of algae to purify the air around us. And that algae was a greater resource than even the trees around us. That it would clean the sea, that it would clean the air, that we would use our human waste and to actually do something great with all of the materials that we already have. And so you can see that BAREMTN Supply also donates 11% of profits to regenerative agriculture. And that's our first series, is to first restore the ground beneath us, to give us nutrient-rich foods. And I would love for everyone to follow along if this intrigues you, and to say that I don't truly know my own reality, as I'm living such a fantastical one and not understanding how the love of my life died, and that he died mysteriously, sending me messages that humanity was going to rise and that we were going to have 2 children together, and only the best of things were about to happen. And then abruptly and suddenly he was gone. And I'm hoping, like I've already said, that it isn't over. And I would like to find the people who still have hope for that as well. Thank you for joining me on this drive. And I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. That is also my birthday. And I'm hoping to connect with people who also have the hearts that want to see our planet and world change for the better.